Hey everyone, it's Kratz with Century 21 Integral Realty, and it's almost August. The June numbers are in for the Hilton Head Association of Realtors. Sales activity has increased and inventory declined, but homes still took considerably longer to attract an acceptable offer. Let's break down what's happened in Hilton Head, Bluffton, and Hardeeville, and what it means if you're considering buying or selling in the South Carolina Lowcountry. Reason why closed sales in June were up 17.8% year over year, and pending sales increased by 10.3%. That's real buyer activity. And it lines up with what's happening nationally, where existing home sales reached their highest level since December. But the number that tells the bigger story here is days on market. Homes took an average of 130 days to receive an acceptable offer, up nearly 69% from last June. Inventory declined by 4.5%, but properties are still taking longer to find the right buyer. The June median sales price was $565,000, which is up 6.8% from last year. The average sales price rose more than 10% to a little over $823,000. Although averages can be influenced by luxury properties happening to close in a different month, the rolling average gives us a more stable view. The overall median was essentially flat at $550,000. Single-family homes increased 3.4% to $610,000, while condos declined 5.5% to $420,000. Month of supply sits at 4.6% overall. But this is not one market. Single-family homes are 4.1 months of inventory, while condos are closer to 5.9 months. Depending on the property type, condition range from mildly seller leaning to close to balanced. Now let's take a look at Hilton Head, where single-family homes and condos told two different stories. Not typical, right? The median price for single-family homes declined 10.2% from last June to $1.055 million. Closed sales increased 24%. So buyers were active, but sellers were having to meet the market more realistically. The days on market increased almost 83% to 112 days. Keep in mind, that's a 1 month median. The year-to-date median for Hilton Head single-family homes is only down 1.1%. So I would not interpret the June meaning that every home on Hilton Head has decreased by 10%. Condos were steadier. The median price declined 1% to $515,000. While closed sales increased 18.6%. Inventory rose slightly, and days on market increased from 81 to 146 days. For condo buyers, prices have leveled off, and the slower price gives you more time to compare location, condition, regime fees, insurance costs, and rental restrictions. For sellers, realistic pricing and strong presentation are increasingly important. Bluffton had a strong June. Closed sales increased 17.1%, and the median price rose 5.4% to almost $575,000. Inventory did decline 18%, so Bluffton does not have an oversupply problem. But days on market did increase from 75 to 133. That tells me that buyers are still purchasing, they're being more selective, they're paying closer attention to condition, floor plan, HOA, lot location, insurance prices, and of course how the home compares to the competition. Hardeeville is the clearest buyer opportunity story in this report. New listings increased more than 20% in June and 33% year to date. Inventory rose nearly 45%, while closed sales remained flat at 49 homes. The year-to-date closings were down almost 28%. So new supply is arriving faster than the market can absorb it. The June median price increased 3% to almost $573,000, although the year-to-date median declined 2.4% to just over $444,000. For buyers, this can mean more choices, greater negotiating room, and potential for buyer's incentives, but compare complete costs, including HOA, fees, taxes, upgrades, incentives, and any special expenses. The advertised base price does not always tell you the whole story. Here's the takeaway. The Lowcountry has buyers. Sales and pending contracts increased in June. Buyers are more deliberate, and homes are taking longer to secure acceptable offers. If you're buying, you generally have more breathing room and more opportunity to negotiate than you did during the market peak, but a well-priced home in a desired community can still attract attention quickly. If you're selling, pricing and presentation matter more than they did just a few years ago. Starting too high often leads to additional days on market and repeated price reductions and possibly a lower net. And remember, regional numbers give context. But Sea Pines is not the same as Sun City. Hampton Hall is not the same as Hampton Lake. And Hardeeville new construction behaves differently than a Bluffton resale. If you want to know what these numbers mean for your street, your community, or the home you're considering, consider reaching out. I'm Carl Kratz, broker and realtor with Century 21 Integra Realty, and I'll see you next month with the July numbers.